Hey, hey, fuck nigga, make him duck quicker, red beam on his set. Think I'm borrowed, put him in a coffin, make sure that he dead. Try to kill me, I come back like this.
What up?
Sir, who are you?
So, I am Jordan Sage, aka Devilman number 6, aka Sir Blazington number 6. That is me. I am the guy, the Shadow Realm Warrior. That is your boy. We are here in the studio with my boy GaijinIsn'tPhysical. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do a little documentary, ask a couple questions. So, you feel me? Let's get it. Out here looking like Neji with the hand. You feel me? We out here, yeah?
Had to prove the warrior status, huh?
Yes, sir. No niggas not to fuck me, you heard? Anyway, let's do it.
So, first off, let's just go ahead and ask you. You say Shadow Realm Warrior. You're big into anime, and I catch a lot of references in your music. Can you enlighten us on how you even got into it and some of your favorites?
Back when I was a kid, my cousin Andre, aka D Major, shout out D Major. As a kid, we used to sit and watch Dragon Ball Z a lot. That was like our big thing. Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho. Back when I was a kid, those were my two biggest shows because it used to air on Toonami before I went to sleep as a kid. And then over time, I didn't really fuck with reality TV because you can tell the fake shit, and I didn't really fuck with that. So I just started really getting deep into anime and started understanding the concepts behind anime and just the whole story about it and how fascinating and how fucking gruesome the bitches are. So that's why I'm into that shit.
Alright, you mentioned Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, I kind of watched that as a kid, but then as I got older and then watched it again, I was like, man, he started out just like us, and you see him level up throughout all the seasons.
Word.
That's real. And then falling asleep to anime on Toonami and whatnot, I remember those days. Also waking up at 3 a.m. to catch Inuyasha before school.
He knows. I remember that shit. Lord Shishamaru was my favorite.
Crescent moon and everything,
yeah.
Right on his head.
That boy was vicious with the shits. I still gotta watch the sequel to it.
Oh yeah, that final act.
No, there's a sequel. He has a daughter.
Is that like Inuyasha final act, like the sequel series, or?
I don't know the name of it, but there's a series where they all have daughters. So it's like it's their kids. So I'm like, I'm a little iffy about it, but I still gotta check it out.
So, yes, these last two projects that you dropped them kind of back to back. Like, I'm guessing your creative output. You're in here, as you see. This is the studio. Pumpkin Hill, Devilman Chronicles. Can you tell us about those?
Pumpkin Hill was with my boy Ginsky. Shout out Ginsky. You know what I'm saying? We here with it. What's it called? Pumpkin Hill was supposed to drop earlier that year, but I had some technical difficulties with my computer. During class, my whole computer just flat out died on me. Like the hard drive just went out. So I ended up losing a good amount of songs for Pumpkin Hill. So I had to push that back. And I didn't want to cancel it because me and Ginsky, we were like a good duo. Kind of like Kendrick and Ramirez. They just go together. So with Pumpkin Hill, I was trying to make it more like an homage to Sonic. So the intro of Who Was You was supposed to start with Knuckles saying, like the whole beginning of Pumpkin Hill when Knuckles is talking like, oh, there's something weird. I need to find the Master Emeralds. It was supposed to go like that, but I cut it out because A, I didn't want to get copyrighted by Sega, and B, I kind of didn't want to make it like a video game. I kind of wanted to make it sort of like a horror movie. Cause I realized that's like my specialty, so.
Like who is you? I never heard of you. Never heard of you.
Pumpkin Hill was basically like the interlude into like Espada 6. So all these tapes in story wise are interludes to Espada 6. So Devilman Devilman Chronicles, I'm sorry. That was just out of this pure fact that I just got back into Devilman after the video that you did for the song. I was like, yo, I gotta get back into it. Cause I was supposed to drop 3 tapes that year. It was me and Ginsky, me and Kendrick, and me and Jeff Max. Shout out Jeff Max. It was supposed to be Pumpkin Hill, Devilman Chronicles, and then Hell on Earth. But Hell on Earth ended up getting scrapped. So it was just Devilman Chronicles, which to me I fucking love because it made me go back and reread and rewatch the shows that I like. So I spent a lot of time watching Devilman Chronicles, Crybaby, and reading the whole book and the whole OVAs and everything. That's how it flows so perfectly, like an episode of Devilman.
Yo, that's a nice way to say it. Flow like an episode.
Yeah, and that's how I make my shit.
And you said you didn't want it to sound like a video game. I also thought about, like, at a certain point, listening to your lyrics, you have a lot of references to comics, AMVs, and not AMVs, anime and whatnot. But I can't exactly put you in the anime rapper box because you can hold your own outside of that.
Yeah.
Like, can you talk about that a bit?
Yeah, so back when I started rapping, back in like high school, the people that I follow on SoundCloud, they mainly did anime rap. So that was like my whole shtick. I was like, oh, these niggas is fire. If I can hop on an anime wave, yeah. So me doing that kind of made me really reignite my love for anime, because there were some bars that I ain't know what the fuck they was talking about. So I had to watch the show to understand it. And once I understand it, I understood the references and everything. Like, well, for Xavier Wolf, when he did a bar about cut a nigga up like Kenpachi, I had no idea what Bleach even was. I didn't know who the fuck that was until I watched Bleach again. And I was like, oh shit, that's who he meant. And that's when I started really liking Grimjaw. That's how I got my other persona, Grimjaw.
Came from Bakuda, couple of shooters, blow off your medulla, chop a fuck up, lock them in and bitch, that's what I'm feeling.
But for that whole anime, I used to be like that, but I kind of stepped back because I didn't want to be like everybody else on SoundCloud at that moment that I listened to. I just wanted to basically make myself from, like, take bits and pieces of what I'm good at that I listen to them, take that, take a little bit of that, mix it together and make myself, basically make my own style. So that's why I spring a little bit of anime, a little bit video games, a little bit comic books, a little bit movies here and there. Just because I know people out here, they half the shit that I say I know they either watch or heard about. So they'll catch that shit. They'll be like, oh fuck, that's hard. Or if they didn't, I encourage them, that bar would encourage them to go watch the shit. Like, oh, that's what he meant. Yeah. So my shit's kind of like a little trivia. So if I say some shit like, because everybody knows guard, so when I put break 'em like guard, like, oh fuck, Sam call from break 'em. So yeah, that's my whole spiel about that.
And I see that you really take a liking to Kyrie and Miki.
Yeah. I don't know, I just like the way they look. They just fine as fuck to me. Plus, they did Miki hella dirty, which I'm still mad about. They ain't had to do her dirty like that.
Oh yeah, that was fucked.
That was fucked up. They didn't do her like that. And she was mad beautiful. Like, nah. Kyrie came from me playing Kingdom Hearts. And I don't know. But ever since I was a kid and I saw Kyrie, I'm like, yo, she's fucking gorgeous.
You know why Sora's doing what he does.
Yeah, like, I was like, alright. He has the point. I understand it. Okay. But to me, I just found Kyrie mad attractive. So, yes sir.
Yeah, man, Kingdom Hearts, I played that as a kid. No, I played the second one first. The combat system was so polished, and, like, it really took a hold to me. Like, Kingdom Hearts really got deep into my mind. Like, it was kind of weird.
I think it was Gundam Fighters. It was Gundam Fighters on Toonami. I was like, oh, fuck, these niggas is getting it in. So, that's really what my childhood really sped up about, this meaning video games and Dragon Ball. I remember back when I was a kid, I used to, my cousin had some drums, and at the time, they, Dragon Ball had their own different intro from Japanese. It's Japanese, they had Head Shala, but over in USA, you had Rock the Dragon. And to me, that was the most fireest fucking intro I've heard in a minute. So I used to be in the basement just reenacting the beat to it. That's actually the same time when my cousin found out that I was, like, really deep into music. But I remember trying to go Super Saiyan as a kid and couldn't do it.
Same, man. Especially when Gotenks came out. Yo, that was inspiration. I was wearing the open vest with no shirt and everything.
My shit, my thing back when I was a kid, which is kind of funny looking back at it, I used to get a towel, wrap around my head, put the shit back, so that I go on Super Saiyan 3. I remember that shit vividly. I was like, yeah, Goku, bitch. At the age of like 6. But that's really what I grew up on. Dragon Ball. Plus, my cousin had the VHS sets, so I still have some in my room. I used to pop them joints in and just watch them after like kindergarten. Just boop, and that shit to me was just fire. I just like the fact that even though these niggas got their ass kicked, they still fought till they won, which kind of stuck with me for a minute. Cause at the time I didn't understand it. I was just a kid that just like seeing fights and shit. But growing up and realizing that like there's a real meaning behind it. It's like even no matter how much life really beats you up and shit, like you still fight to the end. So that's me. Plus I like Yu Hakusho because Hiei was that nigga. I don't want to hear nothing else. Hiei is that nigga, you heard? No kizzy.
I wish you got more time, like, to actually stand out. Because they treat Hiei, Vegeta, and there's another black-haired sidekick dude who they always throw to the side. I was about to say Sasuke, but he got his shine.
I know they put Kuruma to the side, too.
Yeah, especially because he had so much untapped power that they hardly got into.
I think they did a little special about them, but I didn't really watch it because I couldn't find it. And it was kind of like weirdish. Like they made it where Kuruma and Hiei meet, but they don't really explain their origins really. That's kind of like my main thing that kind of tricks me out. Cause some animes they do that shit. Like for Attack on Titan, for instance, the whole Levi the side story, to understand why Levi is who he is. Like they did that shit perfectly, but we couldn't get one for Hiei and Kuruma. A little skeptical there.
And then earlier you were talking about Dragon Ball Z. I remember I had the VHS sets too. I remember I specifically had one with Majin Buu on the cover, and then I had the Lord Slug VHS movie.
You had the Lord Slug VHS movie?
Lord Slug. That was the first DBZ movie I ever saw, and I didn't even know they had movies until I saw Lord Slug, and then that just put me down a whole rabbit hole. I miss when they had rock music on their fights, though.
Yo, factual. You are not wrong. The one I think the ones I have is during the tournament. The Majin Buu arc when Kibito Kai and like Popovich and them when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2.
Popovich, man.
Popovich,
that guy. I was just thinking about his fight that he had with Videl and all that.
He did her dirty. Grimy. He beat that bitch breaks, literally. That's the one I remember having. And I think you had Lord Slug, my cousin, if I'm not mistaken, which I might just be remembering wrong, but I think he had a Broly movie. The first Broly movie. That's how I found out about Broly. I was like, yo, fuck these other niggas. He is tough.
Yo, I see that you have that on your SoundCloud cover. By the way, check out the SoundCloud, all his streaming services.
Yes, sir.
Broly. When I first saw the Broly movie, my cousin also had it, and he showed it to me because he knew I was a big Dragon Ball Z fan. Yo, I cried watching that movie, not because I was sad, but because it was so...
It was good. It was great.
Yeah.
It was amazing, yo.
And then seeing Vegeta act the way that he did, and then seeing Broly just take out everybody.
Broly took out everybody one by one. This man Vegeta, the whole prince, like, oh, fuck. He's a legendary. Just the whole... The only thing I didn't really like about the movie that I feel like they could have really dove into more. This is why I kind of like the Super Broly a little bit better. But me personally, the love for the Z Broly, nobody can match that. But the story of Z Broly, I feel like they could have done better. Because I didn't really understand the whole concept of him crying next to Goku. And then his whole hatred for Goku because of that. It's like, But with Super Broly, they actually gave him detail of why he does this. But Z Broly, compared to Super Broly, Z Broly is extremely vicious compared to Super Broly. This man, as soon as he break his limit, you better run. You better pray he don't get you. Because that man is out for your ass. When his hair turn green, his eyes turn all white, you better run. You better run fast.
I wish they would have done him a better justice with the second and third movie.
Yeah, the third movie was awful. I hated that movie.
Why did they even come up with that? Why?
Like, why would they I understand the second coming. The second coming, it actually makes sense. I get that. Because we didn't see him die with it. So, the fact that he got away is possible. I'm not gonna knock it. Second movie, it wasn't bad actually. I actually liked it. But the third one, Bio Broly, that shit was doodle. That shit was ass. Like I understand he died. That should have been when Goku shot his ass into the sun. He should have died right there. They should not bring him back. Why the fuck would you bring him back and then make him like some slug ass? Nah, bro.
Yo, he was in the chamber and then he came out and then like all the stuff busted on him. Like they could have just left it where they did, but they wanted to create
like a artificial Broly. It's like, do y'all realize this man is a menace to the universe? Like from Second Coming, when they, like I said, when Goku and them shot him to the moon, it's like heart busted. They should have left that shit there. I was like, alright, cool, he ain't coming back. But like you recreate him, he busts out and his whole body melts and like, oh nigga.
Yeah, they're always shooting people to the sun because they did that to Cooler too, didn't they?
Yeah, then he got reincarnated, Metal Cooler, and got free dog off the fuck out Goku and Vegeta.
Yo, Metal Cooler is cool as fuck. I remember playing him all the time on Tenkaichi 3 just because that Finger Beam and the Lock-On Buster.
Oh, that shit was OP as hell. I know exactly what you're doing. I know exactly which movie you're talking about. That shit was OP, bro. That's actually kind of funny you mentioned Tenkaichi because that's the first time. It was the second one. Tenkaichi 2 was the first time I actually heard about Bardock. Because of a cheat code. I was going through the cheats. It was like unlock Bardock. I was like, who the fuck is Bardock? So then I unlocked Bardock. I said, why the fuck you look like Goku?
Yeah, they just be rehashing Goku into different characters. You got Bardock, Turles, Goku Black, of course. Even though that was a cool... Goku Black is a cool
Goku
idea.
Black is by far, in me personally, he's one of my top villains. Simply because the fact that he stole your body and made you look like a bitch. That's crazy. And that kind of goes back into a... Really, if you really look at it, it goes into like a mental state for us as humans. Because everybody says your biggest enemy is you. So in that anime, it kind of just broke it down. Even though he's literally you still got your ass whooped by basically you. So it was like your biggest enemy is you. So that's what I kind of got from it. I was like, alright, I see how they snuck that little metaphor in. So I respect that. It's the fact that like this man really lost against himself, which kind of
multiple times.
Like he got his shit rocked multiple times, and still lost basically. Even though all the time they still lost. Even Vegito, they still lost. Like,
oh yeah, Trunks had to come and finish it off, even though he was the weakest of everybody who was fighting. That was just odd.
Yeah, it was. But I understand why they did that though. I understand the whole meaning behind it. So I understand that.
So yeah, we just rolled off into a conversation with our inspirations. Talk to us about Espada 6.
Espada 6.
Grim jaw devil man, that evil number 6. I'm hella sick, my heart is cold as ice.
The big one, the big boy, yeah. So basically, I wasn't gonna try to make this a sequel, but the way that how I'm playing it in my head, it fits perfectly. So, Espada 6 takes off after nothing left. So basically, Leatherface, at the end of Leatherface Hard for Me, and whoever, in my terms, basically, I attempted suicide, basically, and failed at it, basically. So nothing left is basically like a little mini purgatory between heaven and earth. Well, earth, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, nothing left is basically just me kind of roaming through purgatory again. And how I want to make Espada 6. Because, well, let me retract that. So, purgatory, and I found Grimjaw. Grimjaw is basically like Leatherface, but not prime. Leatherface is like, it's like Ultra Instinct and it's mastered Ultra Instinct. So, Grimjaw is just the black hair Ultra Instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, I'm able to tap into Grimjaw and all that shit. It gave me kind of a different perspective, basically. So with S About 6, I kind of want to capitalize off of Grimjaw and Leatherface and how they're connected. So I ain't gonna go into much, but that first track you gonna see, y'all will understand. Y'all will understand. That's the whole the whole thing behind S About 6. Plus, I wanted to do S About 6, but the reason why I waited so long to do it was because I wanted to do it right. I'm a real perfectionist when it comes to music. When it comes to my art and craft, you should understand. You shoot videos and stuff. So I don't want to give a half-assed project. I don't, because I did that one time and I'll never forget myself for doing it. It was before y'all know me as Jordan Sage now. I used to go by Young J. It was a tape I dropped. It was Lost VA Boy. That shit was ass. I hated it with a passion. Ever since then, I just started progressing crazily. So yeah, that's about a 6. Before I done anything, I wanted to get all the little side stories out the way, all the side tapes. I want to get that done out the way, because basically how I look at my side tapes, like Doberman Chronicles and all that, is experiments on different techniques that I use. So it's like Pro Tools. I had Pro Tools for like a year, so I'm still understanding Pro Tools. So I'm still trying to understand the whole concept behind Pro Tools. So with S Spot 6, I just want to get this shit right. I want to do it right. I want to do it my way. I want to do it correctly. So that's why it took so long. And plus, I didn't want to make it. I didn't want to make it a sequel. I just wanted to. If I did make it a sequel, I wanted to do it right.
So you want this as the main event?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. S Spot 6 is the main event. S Spot 6 is basically the sequel to Leatherface.
Okay. And you say that you're on Pro Tools. Do you do everything yourself?
Yes, I do. I mix, master, engineer. The only thing I don't do yet is video. I shot a couple little trailers, but in terms of like actually in video, I haven't done that. So in terms of music, I basically do the whole 9. So,
all right. So
you're talented.
You talked about Lost VA Boy.
Mm-hmm.
So you had that, and then you told me about your cousin discovering that you had a love for music and the drums from Dragon Ball Z. Like, at what point? Can you just tell us about your origin story?
So my origin story, my bad. Discord going crazy. Shout out Discord. My cousin Andre, he wanted me to be a basketball player. He wanted to be heavy in sports, but it wasn't my thing. Cause he tried to pull a basketball, I'm like,
Kind of the same for me, man. My dad wanted me to get into sports, and
yeah, it wasn't my forte. But my cousin, he's very musically inclined, so he can play the piano, he can play the drums, almost perfectly. So he used to do the piano and drums, and once he saw me really take a liking to it, he was like, okay, I understand. This is what you like. So I used to freestyle a lot back when I was a kid in the shower. I used to make like weird ass beats and shit. So when he got locked up, that's when I really started actually trying music. So what was it, like 7th grade? 7th grade I tried to, but I stopped because I was ass at it. I was like, man, this ain't for me, fuck it. Because usually I was going to be a YouTuber. Reviewing fighting games. I know that's a crazy thing. From YouTuber to like an evil ass rapper. That the correlation is wild. But I was gonna be a YouTuber, but then one day in 8th grade, I'll never forget this shit. It was resource, basically like a free period class. I was just cooling, and then next thing I know, it clicked. That's the best way I can describe it. It literally clicked, and I started hearing like little lyrics in my head, so I started writing them down. I was like, oh fuck, yo, this is hard. Like the entire day, I was just writing lyrics that came to my head. And it was my lyrics, like I heard my voice say it. So I was like, alright, let me write this shit down. And I remember it was a remix to Waka Flocka's Oh Let's Do It. I don't know how my mind took away the vocals but kept the beat. But the beat played and my vocals came in. I was like, oh, click, click. So, yeah, that's how I literally started rapping. It was a one time I freestyled on SoundCloud with my cousins, and they was like, I don't know if this is for you, Chief.
You got to break through that wall.
Yeah, I don't know what it. I don't know what happened, but it's like everything just clicked and connected. That's the best way. That's what happened.
Yo, so you were born with the talent, and I feel like we're very similar on that because I was in elementary school too. I remember 3rd grade writing rhymes, trying to be the next little Bow Wow.
Yeah.
Like for real, I was inspired by Bow Wow, and then I would rap to some friends, and they were like, "Nah, this ain't really it." And then I stopped rapping, and then I came back in like high school ish because it's still in me. I was always writing lyrics, but I couldn't get my flow and voice down. And then I kind of quit again, and then that's when I went real hard with the visuals. But then, like, sometime last year, the music just overtook me. Like, I couldn't stop it from coming out. And I was like, okay, I still got my mic, still got my laptop, let's go.
Oh, so that's how you started coming out with the freestyles again?
Yup.
Oh, okay. I mean, because that's the one thing people... Shout out my boy Reckless, use that example. My boy Reckless, he just started making music recent, like rapping. He didn't want to rap because he didn't like his voice. I could personally say I didn't like my voice either, but I just said fuck it and did it anyway. But I know some people are subconscious about that shit, like, or they don't like me because of my voice, or they don't like me because of this. But it's really how you control it. That's really what it's about. It's control, which is kind of weird, but it's just control and confidence. That's the main thing people seek. Flow is okay. That's cool. Flow is like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
But if you don't have confidence in your style and how you really, you know what I'm saying, get to the mic and get to the verses and stuff, then there's really no point. You feel me? That's how I looked at it. That's how my cousin looked at it. It's just like, yeah, that's basically what it is. It just came down to confidence. I always visioned myself on stage. That's just who I was, because ever since high school, I was loose throughout high school. I kept my head down. I was a ghost. So,
Same.
now since I'm like, I took all that hatred and fuel, threw it into on the song lyrics. Boy, what? I had people come to me. I will never forget this shit. It was Berserk, the tape Berserk. It was a song called "I'm Sorry." This girl had commented that she had just broke up with her boyfriend had just dumped her, and that song helped her through those hard times. I was like, fuck. Like, I ain't know what to do, bro. Like in terms like that, I don't mean to be like awkward, but I'm like, fuck. Like, what do you say in that moment?
Like you help somebody through their life.
Yeah, like that's not saying that I don't like that. It's just it's really weird to me, cause throughout my life I just been doing me, but that kind of made me really look at music differently, cause music is cool. I fuck with this.
Yeah, man, it's just flowing out.
Yeah.
All right, so you said that your music helped a person, and then you realized that music has more power, and then you started talking about X. Can you tell us more about that?
X. Man, where do I even start? I remember a while back, I was on Instagram and somebody made an edit to X's song "Sippy Tea in Your Hood" with a Hunter X Hunter. I was like, who the fuck is this? I'm listening to it, and it's crazy because I listened to it. I was like, nah, I don't really like this. And I listened back to it again. I was like, oh, this shit go hard. Like, this shit's hard. So that which made me go into his catalog and really look at his songs, and it was something different about his music which resonated with me perfectly. It was like he wasn't doing the Cardi shit. He wasn't doing the lyrical shit. He wasn't doing the trap shit, the doughboy shit, you feel me? He was just him. That was just his pure emotions, which I understood perfectly. Is because it's like at the end of the day, this is you. So with that, it took me quite a long time to really understand it, but once I did, I feel like it helped me with my music, because at the time I was trying to be like Cardi and them, you know what I'm saying, trying to be like everybody here on the mainstream, but I wasn't trying to be me. I wasn't trying to focus on my sound, on my different style of it. So while he did it, it kind of clicked and it made a whole lot more sense. And once I found that out, it was just applying it. But my mind was on that weird shit. Like, nah, like you gotta be like him to get big. You gotta be like so and so to get big. You gotta mumble like what's his name to get big. You feel me? So once I kind of sat back and realized that, like, yo, these niggas don't record like you. They're not you. And I remember watching this IDK video. He was like, I'm not in the same bracket as these other rappers. Like, respectfully, he's like, I'm a different person. I'm in my own different lane. So once I kind of broke that stigma of being a generic SoundCloud rapper and all that, and kind of just focusing on me and myself and my music, you can tell from the growth of my music that that's what happened. So, and that was during the Berserk time, Berserk tape. I remember that shit perfectly.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, I can't exactly put you in the anime rapper box, because if you were stuck in that box, a lot of those careers tend to dwindle off fast. But you're outside of that, so you sound like yourself. Yeah. And you'll stick around for a while because of that. Yeah.
Not shit on anime rap. Shout out Otaku God.
Yeah.
Yo, Otaku God go hard, bro. If you get a chance, look him up. Otaku God, fire.
Shit, we'll play some snippets as we get to your computer in a bit.
Got you.
And also, you talking about X, I feel like people around our age just like really resonate with X, because I also love X. Like, the first song I heard from him was Space Ghost Pussy. The diss that they all did.
I didn't know that was him until I listened to his music.
Same. Like, when I first heard it, I was like, damn, Denzel sounds hella aggressive right now.
Yeah, I thought that was Denzel too. I was like, Ski Master Slumgo, who was that? Like, I wasn't knocking it. I was like, oh, let me hear what the fuck going on. I heard Denzel. I think it was like Ronnie or Yoshi Tompkins. I was like, alright, okay, I know them. Yeah. And then X came in, and I was like, who is this?
Yes.
Then I was like, alright. And then Ski Mask came. I was like, alright, Ski Mask. Alright, I like this nigga. This nigga fired. And then I was like, but who the fuck was that other nigga, though?
Yeah.
Because like, his voice, it was just aggressive, and it was just like captivating. It's like when you heard him, you're like, whoa.
Came on the track and made his mark.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I move. Every track I'm on, I'm leaving my mark. You're gonna remember me eventually. You remember, I don't give a fuck if it was a bad thing or a good thing. You're going to remember me eventually. If you keep me on a track, and the first word you hear is get that nigga, scoop, mark right there.
Yo, that ad-lib is hella catchy. Like, I could see that in a movie or a video game, like when you select a fighter, get that nigga.
Yo, that ad-lib actually happened on accident. It really did. On Rob Me a Bitch, before my computer crashed on me. I was just fucking around, and I was like, get that nigga. I was like, oh, that's kind of hard. So then I started using that, and I guess people have been using that as like my signature shit. So like, yo, cause my boy Charlie, shout out Charlie 8047. He was like, if you can scream, get that nigga on my song, that shit would go hard. So that's like my little signature now. And now I have to say, now it's a point where I have to say it in the ad-lib at least once. Any song, I have to say, get that nigga. Just to know, just to put my little mark. It might not come out as you think it is, but it's going to be there. Yeah. It's going to be there.
And if anybody says that phrase, we all know that it came from you, because I have never, ever heard that anywhere else.
Oh, yeah. If these little niggas gonna start saying get that nigga, they better pay homage. That's all I ask.
So, yes, Lost VA boy, you are based in Virginia. Have you been here most of your life?
Yeah, I was here my entire life. My family's from DC, actually. My dad's from Manassas. But yeah, I'm based out here.
Okay. So I guess we could wrap up this portion of the interview documentary / is there any other big points that you want to talk about? And give us a release date for Espada 6 if possible.
Espada 6 is still in the making. I can't give you a release date yet. It's coming though. I'm gonna drop some snippets. Actually, a little promo. Me and my boy Game Over 2 times. We're dropping a tape called Brothers 1.5 Reloaded. These are all new songs, so don't think that we're gonna rehash old songs. It was a parody on Kingdom Hearts, because Kingdom Hearts got like 3.5 remaster, HD remix, and all that. So we were just fucking around with that. These are all new songs, 12 tracks featuring Emil.W and Takoshi Kai. I'm gonna play out a little track in a few minutes. Check that out. Check out my boy Charlie 8047. Shout out to him, Mr. Black, Sir Blackington. That's how I call all my friends. For a little inspiration on whatever y'all niggas do in y'all life that y'all really love, don't let them tell you different. You feel me? Yeah, I don't know if I got people that look up to me. I'm just gonna say it, so fuck it. If y'all love something that y'all want to do, put your heart into it. If they say that your shit is weird, is whack, fuck them, keep doing it. Because they gonna hop on the wave eventually. That's what my niggas always tell me. You know what I'm saying? Do it your way and do it right. Don't have acid. Don't try to be like anybody else. Do it how you would do it. And that's my little, yeah.
And you spoke about Game Over ×2. Can you tell us a little bit about your record label?
Badland Mafia Records. It's owned by me, Reckless, and Game Over 2 times. Our boy Charlie, before he got locked up, he told us to get our LLCs because he had his own label, 8047. At the time, we was just college kids, feel me? Community college, just doing this shit for fun. My boy Reckless realized he saw my potential in this shit, and he told me, he was like, yo, don't give up on this shit. It's straight like that. So he's been with me through everything. They're basically like my brothers in my heart. Even though we're friends and close friends, they're like my brothers. So Badland Mafia came from a bar that I said one time. I think I was like Badland, but we moved like the Mafia. And they just kind of was like, yo, that's his name, Badland Mafia. So, and that's really how it came about. We're doing pretty good right now. We're still trying to get out the little paperwork and shit, trying to get that correct. Because we want to do it right.
Yep.
We ain't trying to be like Def Jam. But, oh yeah, you signed and like scam me out like half your money. We ain't like that. So, but we got a hefty roster on our team though. Pretty hefty roster. Shout out my boy. I know you just asked me a question, but they just came to my head.
Yeah.
Shout out Kid Loco. What up, my nigga? I see you. Shout out to Lynch. Go check out his new single, The Liquor. Fire. Shout out She Loves Notion, aka Just Blast. She dropped a song. Wavy as fuck, no pun intended. Shout out Nomad. He just dropped the track. He's really on that chill vibe. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with that. Shout out Reckless, Game Over 2 times. Vibes, my boy out in Cali. See my boy always working. And shout out Bankroll Boomer, T Got Bands, all them. They're not on the roster, they just came to my head. Yeah. That's the whole thing.
Shit, that kind of brought about another question.
Mm-hmm.
If you could tour, what city or country would be like your first pick?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that, bro. Funny shit about that, we were supposed to tour. But the whole pandemic happened. It was supposed to be me, my boys, Reckless and Game Over. My man's Wrong Side, shout out Wrong Side. It was, I don't want to say his name, fuck it. And my boy Jake, I forgot your rap name, I'm sorry, homie. But we were supposed to tour. We were supposed to start in Sterling, and then we were supposed to go, it was like a north side tour. It was around the time where my song started blowing up like crazy on Spotify. And I was joking around, I was like, yo, if I tour, who the fuck would come? And my boy was like, yo, you trying to tour? I was like, sure.
Yeah.
But if I had to pick a spot to like perform or start a tour, I might have to say California, because California has is really big. No, actually, I take it back. I'm sorry. Houston, South by Southwest, the biggest music event. Well, underground. Talking like underground. I would love to do a set on South by Southwest. But if I could have it my way, oh boy, I would rock the fuck out of Coachella. I would, yo. That's like my biggest goal. I don't give a fuck about getting signed. I'm already signed, but performing at Coachella on that big ass stage with all those people, oh man,
feeding off that energy.
Oh yo, that's gonna unlock some shit. I never knew I had. I performed one time, and let me tell you, that shit is so fun. That shit is like the adrenaline rush in that shit, yo. Even though my friends was like, cause I was panicking like a bitch. I was panicking.
I would too, man. I can't do like public.
Yeah, I was panicking. Before we get to the video, it was a story. So my big, well, it wasn't really big, but in my eyes it was big. So my boy, our friend Lachey, shout out Lachey and Ogie, yeah. They was doing a little concert up in Sterling. And it was us and some other people. I think Ask was there. Shout out Ask, that boy blown up. Fire. Check him out too. He was performing and all that, and there was this one nigga, I can't remember his name, but he was performing, and after he performed, everybody basically left, right?
Yeah, that's that trap.
Yeah, so but there was outside in the hallway though. So our friend's brother that was a DJ, he was like, yo, come on, like, you gotta perform. I'm freaking the fuck out because everybody's like, they hyping this other nigga up. I'm like, damn, bro, like, can I do this? Like, can I really do this? That goes back to the Goku Black. Your biggest enemy is you. And my conscience like, you can't do this. My friend, game over, he was like, who the fuck are you? I was like, I'm Jordy. He said, no. Who are you? And I said, I'm Say. So all right, get up there and then tell me who you are. So I grabbed the mic and I was panicking, but I don't know what happened. He played, I think it was Gara at the time. It was unreleased at the time. He played Gara. And I was rapping it, and I was like, alright, cool. And then he played 100, and I fucking lost it. I like blacked out in pure like rage, and I was just going at it. Just going crazy. And then he played Johnny Blaze 2. Yo, we was going crazy. I'll never forget this shit because people out in the hallway, they was about to leave, but they stopped, and it was like, yo, who the fuck is this?
Leans back in the door.
Yo, like the whole hallway was just like full of faces, like, yo, who is this nigga? And I was just letting it out. Just letting it was like, in my eyes, it's like I just hit Super Saiyan on accident. So like my energy was up, the rage was up, the adrenaline was like peaking. Yo, I killed that shit. It was like, yo, my boy's like, I've never seen you like black the fuck out. Cause our thing was I was supposed to like look at him and rap too, like how to do on the concerts and shit. But when he tapped me and he looked in my eyes, he said, yo, I looked in your eyes and I realized you wasn't there, so I left. Cause he jumped off the stage and was in the crowd. And I was like, what you mean? Cause I got to that breaking point, to the point I couldn't remember what happened after. My boy's like, you don't remember what happened? I was like, nah. After Gara, I don't remember anything.
Damn.
But they got it on footage. It's on my Instagram. But sometimes I regain memories of that day. I was like, yo, I really spaz on that bitch.
I gotta go watch that video.
That shit was hard. It is kind of crazy because at a certain point when I'm rapping, I don't know if it's just the lighting, but like my eyes glow up a little bit. I was like, oh.
You said you were not there. Like, I can only imagine, like, you coming up to your friend who you've known for years, and they're like in their full persona, 111%.
Yeah.
Damn.
That's what happened. Cause I told him, I said, yo, if I look at you, I'm like, yeah, this. But he said he tapped me, and I looked at him. He was like, oh no.
Demons here.
Yeah. He said that's the first time I've actually seen like a monster like awaken. I was like, okay. I don't know what to say at that. I'm awkward at times. I don't mean to be, but that's you saying Tori. It's made me remind me of that day. That shit was crazy.